Welcome to Ball and Ballers. I'm Z, and what a drama-filled week we've had. Let's go! I want to thank everybody for the feedback on my first video. It's been amazing, and I really appreciate it. There's not been much negative feedback on it, which I do appreciate. Apologies as well because I've got a sore throat today. And also, I've had a few people ask whether they can jump on. Yes, you can. If you want to be a guest, feel free to reach out, jump on. If you want to do your own show, feel free to jump on and do your own show. I'll produce it, I'll direct it, I'll edit it, I'll do what I got to do if you need me to. And all you got to do is just sit here, I present, and that's it. So if you do want to do your own show and you want to reach out, that's it. Feel free. So the first thing about today is Gyokeres, Victor Gyokeres. Okay, so with Gyokeres, at the start of the week, we had Gyokeres' agent put out there that Sporting have gone back on the word, even though they've got a €100 million clause. He said that wasn't what was agreed with Hugo Viana. It was agreed that you can go for about 60. And now the football director for Sporting, Federico Varandas, has turned around and said that was not the case. So he basically turned around and said, I can guarantee that Victor Gyokeres will not leave for €60 million plus €10 million because I never promised that. To this day, Sporting has not received an offer for Gyokeres, neither today nor last summer. And then he went on to say, for one reason, it was because we know no player leaves Portugal at 27 for €100 million or €90 million. And in the same meeting, the agent wanted to anchor the exit to a value. And he was told that it's not worth us setting the value because I don't know what will happen in a year's time. I don't know if it will be 40, 60, 80. But what I can guarantee you that it won't be 100 million. So that was towards the start of the week. Gyokeres turned around and said, I'm done. I'm going to go on strike. I don't want to play Sporting no more. I want to move. And we were at the time, pretty much the only team that was interested in him. And then in swoops Arsenal, who had a meeting with Gyokeres' agent at some point this week. I think it was Wednesday, if I recall from the top of my head. And discussions were had. And next thing you know, Victor Gyokeres turned down a move to Manchester United with a Sporting CP star ready to join Arsenal. Now, rumour has it that Arsenal put in an initial bid of 55 plus 10, so 65 million, which was rejected, and now they're coming up with a bid of 70 plus 10 or 70 plus 5 that I've heard. But for me, I think Sporting want more towards that €80 million mark, which I feel is too high for United. And if Gyokeres has turned around and said that it would let Arsenal be the first choice, then I don't see why we should go for him. I know Amorim is eager to sign him. They've worked together at Sporting. He coached him at Sporting, made him into what he is today, brought him into the team. But if he wants to join Arsenal, I say let him go. We don't want to be second best to anybody. We need to learn from that mistake. We need to just move on and find another striker. We need to see what's out there, what's available. A little bit about Osimhen and Ekitike shortly. But we need to definitely find out what's out there, who we can get. Because if this Arsenal thing doesn't work out and Amorim still wants him, he's made a decision that he wants to play in Europe and we can't offer him that. And because we can't offer him that, I don't see why we should go in for him. One sec. Sorry. Yeah, I don't see why we should go in for him if that's the case. because I don't want to be second best. Or I don't want United to be second best to anyone. I want players that would want to play for us. I want, it's like Amorim and Omar Barada said, if a player is in it just to play in Europe, then he's not the one for us. And that's something that I really want him to stick to. Because Mateus Cunha wanted to join us because he wanted to join us. And he'd said so in his interview. So with Gyokeres, I feel like we should, regardless of whether Arsenal want him or not, we should just not bother. Which brings me on to Victor Osimhen, which I know we've shown interest in, and I know he's roughly around the same price as Gyokeres. But what concerns me about him is his wage is too high. He wants a high wage package. That's not something that I agree that we should give him. We should have learned our lesson from Gyokeres or Sancho or Rashford. Because for me, I feel like Rashford and Sancho are in it for the money. They don't really care much about football. They don't really care about sitting on a bench as long as they're earning 300 plus a week, 300,000 plus a week. And I think that's all they really care about. The reason Chelsea rejected Sancho was because of the wage package, because they weren't willing to offer him what he wanted. And I think we should be the same. If Osimhen wants to drop his wage, take him, that's fine. But if he wants to keep it up there to whatever level he is right now, and then there's no use, it's not really going to work out. And it shouldn't really work out because he's going to be there for whatever the wage is at the time. And we're also interested in Ekitike, but with him, for being 22 years old, he scored 22 goals and 12 assists for Frankfurt. I think with him, it's the price. It's 80 plus million euros. Well, 80 plus million pounds, which is roughly, I don't know, I've heard roughly about 100 million euros. That's too high, especially for a 22-year-old who scored like 22 goals, 12 assists in 30-odd games. 33, 34 games. Yes, fair enough. The record is better than anything our players did in the league. But I really think that we should reduce the price because he's unproven. He played for Frankfurt and he did well. He showed out, but there's not really much I know about him. That's not a reason to say, no, don't come because I don't know much about him because obviously other people do. 80 million, I do feel like it's too high. And his contract runs until 2029, so Frankfurt's got the advantage. He's got another 4 years left on his contract. So it's one of them where if Osimhen's wages are too high and Ekitike price is too high, who does that leave? Who's left in the market? Who can we get? And I think we're at a place where we're really stuck because there's not really anybody else there that is available who probably will come to us. and I think we're really going to struggle to find a striker. I was hoping we get everything done. But the problem that I've noticed with United is, although we made an amazing start, we singled out Cunha, we singled out Mbeumo, we singled out Gyokeres as the 3 players we wanted. We singled out Osimhen as the 4th player we wanted. I feel like we're moving too slow. We moved quick on Cunha because he was determined he wanted to come to us. And that's what the player wanted. And that's what I think drove it over the line. But the problem that I think we find ourselves having is we'll put in a player, we'll show interest, and then we'll just sit back. And then we won't sign a player, and by the time the transfer window ends, we have to like rush last minute and grab whatever we got just because we start hitting panic mode and hit panic stations, and then we just find a player that's not even suitable for the team or the position that we want him to play. And we're stuck with him. We'll offer him a high wage, and we're still stuck with him. We'll overpay. I will still be stuck with him because we're that desperate, and people see us being desperate, and they see us coming. And I think that's the issue we got, and that's why it's taken us so long to get Mbeumo over the line. With Thomas Frank going to Tottenham, there's been interest from Tottenham for Mbeumo as well. So because Thomas Frank was at Brentford and Mbeumo played for Brentford, well, still does, it when I heard of that he's going to Tottenham and Tottenham was interested in Mbeumo, I was a bit like, oh, okay, that's another player we've lost. But it has been reported in the Metro and by a few others that Mbeumo still prefers the transfer to Manchester United after Tottenham launched a 70 million offer for Brentford forward, which means now that his price has increased. So it means our next offer will have to be an increased offer, way increased offer, better than what originally we offered him at 45 plus 10, which was 55. I think it's probably going to be more along the lines of 65 plus 5 or 60 plus 10 or something around that 70 million mark, because that's what Tottenham offered him. Now, I don't know how true these reports are, but there's quite a lot of them floating around, and maybe it was just to get his price up so Brentford could make more money, possibly. I mean, they could have asked Thomas Frank that before you leave and join Tottenham to, make known that you want Mbeumo, and then once you're at Tottenham, offer us something, even though he doesn't want to go to him, just to increase the price, maybe. I don't know. But there's a lot going on at the moment, and we just need to get at least another signing over the line. And the signing that I want, if I had to choose between Gyokeres, Osimhen, Ekitike, is Mbeumo. I really want him to play alongside Matheus Cunha in that number 10 role. And I think that'll improve the team a lot, especially when he's got 20 goals last season, or season just gone. So I do think we could potentially go in for another offer like Tottenham did, 65 plus 5. They offered him 70 million in total. So either could be just fake news, just to increase the price, or there may actually be some solid interest from Tottenham due to Thomas Frank going there. So, I guess we'll find out when the transfer window opens. By the time this comes out, transfer window would already open because I'm shooting this on a Sunday and put it out on a Monday. So transfer window would already be open. So I'm hoping we can get the deal done and get it to where we need to get it. Otherwise, we've lost out on Gyokeres, we've lost out on Mbeumo, and that don't really leave much. So really, I don't want to get into a situation where we're stuck. And I don't really want to get into a situation where we're overpaying wages or transfer fee. So, I suppose this week will show us what happens more. Yeah, it's really a tough one because we do really need to get these deals done. So, just so we can bring some players in. And I know another player that we're really interested in at the moment is Emi Martinez. I think United have already begun talks to sign Emi Martinez, and the Villa keeper has indicated that he's keen to move across to us. He's currently, I think, 32 years old. Let me just check. Give me a sec. Yeah, he's currently 32 years old. There's been interest from the Saudi Pro League as well. And I don't think he's gonna go to the Saudi Pro League. I think he's more interested in coming to us, what I've heard. So I suppose that's a good thing. And I think if we can get that and get rid of Onana, it'll be brilliant. But Onana did say that he wants to stay at United. I don't feel like he's good enough to stay at United. He makes too many mistakes. He flip-flops around that goal. He doesn't get across the goal in time. I feel like he's scared to dive a lot of the time. He's not good with his feet. He makes too many errors, too many mistakes, gives the ball away too much in dangerous territory. So I feel like though that in order to get Emi Martinez in, we need to get rid of Onana because he's not the one. When he came in with Ten Hag, I said he wasn't the one, and I still stuck by it. Even though my son, who's 17 now, a really big football fan, he plays himself. He plays for a pro academy team. So with him, he was saying, "Dad, give Onana a chance. He can improve. He's a good keeper." And then he just kept getting mistakes. And I kept saying, "Look, I told you so. I told you so." To the point where my son turned around now and said, "Yeah, he does make too many mistakes." And I was right, and he should have been brought in, but we've got him. And now we just got to try and get rid of him to get Emi Martinez come in. So I feel like United are making moves in the right place, but I feel like we've slowed down and we haven't got anything over the line, and that's the problem. That's the problem because we do need to start getting things over the line, and hopefully we can. And hopefully, it'll improve the team tenfold, and hopefully we'll do well and get some of these players in this coming window once it's reopened now. So, I mean, we've got until September the 1st, but I don't really want to wait until August. Our first pre-season game is at some point in July, towards the end of July. So I want to try and get that in, try and get him in before, or at least a few players in before then. I know we got Diego Leon coming on 1st of July. I don't really know much about him, so I'm going to have to do a bit of research on him. He's still young, and I know that we paid for him in January. He's just gone, so 1st of July will be in the team, so we'll see what he's like. But with Mbeumo still wanting to come to us, and Emi Martinez saying he's interested in coming to us, hopefully we can get them. Gyokeres, I think that's done now. I think Arsenal are going to get him unless something major happens and he decides he doesn't want to go to Arsenal. So that leaves us in a strike without a striker. Well, without a prolific striker. So we need to bring in a striker. We need to nail one down. We need to find out who's really interested in coming and who we can get. And if it's Osimhen with a lower wage, yeah, so be it. I'm surprised he doesn't want European football, but at the moment it's just a rumor. So I'm just gonna play by ear, and obviously I'll report as much as I can. And we unveiled Matheus Cunha along with a new home kit, away kit, and third kit. And the kits I'm definitely going to buy. So I've already got it in the pipeline. But it was a good interview. If any one of you guys watched it, it was a really good interview. He made his opinion known about why he chose Manchester United, which to me is I believed, because sometimes you'll get, for example, if I joined Al Nassr, for example, and I turned around and said, "Yeah, it's a team that I've always wanted to play for. It's an amazing team, and it's my childhood dream. And to play for this team, you ain't gonna believe me, because it's not my childhood team to play for that team. I'm just saying that because it's the press conference, and that's what needs to be said." But on this occasion, I actually did believe him. So, so if anybody watched that interview, he even said himself, he said, it is the most common phrase that you can say at this moment, but this is a dream come true. And then maybe outside, I think maybe my decision, they don't understand. Yeah, which is what I was saying. Like everybody says it, and it's why would you come to United? But then he carried on saying, but when you have always dreamed to play here, it's easier to pick this decision. And then he went on to say, for me, no one else is like United. And of course, I know it's been a hard season for everyone. I think my decision shows what this club is for me, or what I believe this club can be. And at that point, I was a bit skeptical, thinking, yeah, fair enough. And then he went on to explain why he made that decision. And then he basically said, it's hard to find a way to explain this club for me. My house didn't have the channel to watch the Premier League. My cousin's house didn't have the channel. And he's older than me, and he supports United, and he showed me the way to start to watch the Premier League and the need to support United. And then he said he used to go to his grandma's house, so only in my grandma's house we can watch the Premier League. So we organised to go every weekend. And for me, it was always a bit inside of me, this club. when I play when I play with him in the street, like his cousin, when he played with his cousin in the street, on the beach, on the gravel pitch, they used to call it Old Trafford. So they imagined that they were playing at Old Trafford. So he said it's so hard for me here now. Thinking about my past is very emotional for me, and he basically said that's the reason why he joined the club, because it was just his childhood dream. He used to play on the street, pretend he was playing on Old Trafford, and pretend he was playing for Manchester United. And because of that, he decided to join us. So he went on to explain. He didn't just say, yes, my childhood dream, always thought about playing here, and left it at that. He actually went on to explain why. And the fact that he knew there was no European football when he could have had interest from somebody else, and then he chose to come to us, is good. And I genuinely believe him, because, I mean, look at what's happening with Gyokeres, look what's happening with Mbeumo at the moment. So, yeah, I actually believe him. And I agree with Omar Barada and Ruben Amorim when they said that they want players that actually want to play for the badge, and not because they're in Europe. So us not being in Europe and people wanting to come to us, it's going to be a genuine reason why they want to come to us. And scoring 29 goals over 2 seasons is really good. That's something that we need, and hopefully it's something that we're going to get. So yeah, that is really good, and there's a really good interview which you can watch. Moving on to Garnacho, there's been I've read there's been a few interests this week. There's been an interest from Arsenal and Chelsea. Arsenal wanted to put in 60 mil, but I think that's gonna go away, because if you're interested in other players that you want to bring in first, I think that's going to be put on the back burner. But I also read midweek that Villa want to pay 70 million for him. I think 70 million is too much. I think 60 is roughly the right price, or 50 plus add-ons, maybe 10 mil add-ons, or 55 plus 5 mil add-ons. It seems the right price. 40 would be too low for me. I don't think we should get rid of him for 40. So for Villa to allegedly put in 70, I think that they've overpriced. But if you can get rid of Garnacho, that'll be beneficial, because now that we've got Cunha coming in and it's been made official, we got Dorgu, we got Heaven to play left-sided defender. So I don't think there's any room for Garnacho anymore. There's no way we're going to get rid of Amad Diallo, because Amad was just amazing. And if Mbeumo does come in, they'll learn from each other and play off each other. I think it'll work well. So that pretty much brings me to the end of the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. I'm trying to reach, my first goal is 1,000 subscribers, so I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I'm also going to try and do more videos midweek if I can, because people are beating me to the punch. So by the time Sunday comes, when I record it and put it out on Monday, all this news has already been filtered through to you guys, and you guys know about it already, and I'm missing out. I'm missing the final punch. I'm missing the final blow. I want to try and get ahead before everybody else. I will also maybe put in a show where I'm discussing other transfers from other teams and other leagues, but my main focus is United and San Francisco 49ers on the NFL side. So the 49ers one might not be out until August, when the mid-season starts, preseason games start. But yeah, I'm hoping we can get some deals done this week, and I'm hoping to post more midweek, and I'm hoping you guys enjoy what you're doing. And please feel free to comment, and please feel free to leave feedback. I can only improve, and that's what I want to do, improve, because this is only my second episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.